Hey, good morning. Russell Hotels going live just for a couple of minutes. Happy Friday to everybody. You know what I'm doing right now? I'm actually broadcasting at the same time on Instagram and on YouTube. You can't do it on the same device though, right? So I have my laptop going and my phone going. I'm like, why did I think about this before? I'm in the house, so I can do this from the house. I can't do it, outside of it. So I see Skip. What's going on, Skip? What's going on? So, Skip told me we're gonna do lunch today, but now I can tell that he's backpedaling, and you know how Skip does. He don't come through with stuff sometime, and well, I got to do this. I'm doing that. That kind of stuff. Waldine. Waldine, how are you, sir? I've been watching you, I've been following you, haven't talked to you in a while, but definitely been following. And I have to translate stuff over so I can understand what's going on. You know what I mean? So because my Spanish is muy mal. So yeah, but no, I appreciate you continued posting. I do look at your stuff. I do try to follow along, but no, continue to do what you do. I mean, you do the family stuff, you do the work related stuff. I mean, you do a mixture of everything, and I think that's dope. So continue to do what you do. I watch you all the time. I get ideas from you. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Skip says, "What up? Still at the DMV? Not have okay. Well, you know what? You went to the DMV, probably the one in Inglewood, right? You should have gone to the one in Culver City. I forgot to tell you that. But anyway, whatever. Um, you know, DMV is DMV, right? Although, well, there's a big difference between going to the one in Culver City and the one in Inglewood. In fact, when my daughter took her driving test, she took it from Culver City, so it was a lot easier. I didn't make the appointment. Well, you got to make the appointment too. I mean, who does that? Who goes to the DMV without making an appointment these days? Unless you're in Blythe. Okay, now that's what I'm about to do, right? So to get my new license, because I'm gonna need the what's the new license called? The universal license, the whatever it is, whatever it's called. Um, I'm going to Blythe to get mine. Okay, I'm not even gonna mess around here. I'm gonna go to Blythe. I just got to make sure I take my either birth certificate. I think you have to take your birth certificate and a passport if you have it. So whatever, I'm taking both of them, and that's where I'm gonna do mine. So, in fact, people from LA do it all the time. They go all the way out there because it's all about time, right? And not being frustrated and everything. Go in there and get your stuff done and get the heck out of there. An appointment was made. I didn't make it. Read between. Well, you know what? Well, why didn't you make the appointment? Okay, well, that's silly. Anyway, I see Craig Giangrosso. Hey, Craig, how are you, sir? Hope you are well. Just going on doing these lives. I do these lives every Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 and noon. I'm right on time today. It's 11:35, and I normally do two of them, right? So I do one on Instagram. I do one on YouTube, right? Different times. But today, because I don't know what, just a little light bulb went off my head, ding, and said, you know what? You got two devices here. You could do YouTube on one and you can do Instagram on the other. So that's what I'm doing. I'll cuss you out offline. Okay, you can cuss me out right here if you want to. That's fine. But today is a good day. Hey, today I sourced out this meeting, right? So yesterday, not sure if you guys caught me yesterday, but I got a new client, right? So I got a new client for the hotel site selection part, right? You guys know I'm a hospitality entrepreneur, but do multiple things, right? So if one thing is not happening, then I do other things, right? So I do the content creating, I do the hotel site selection, I do the hotel consulting, which can be, sales related, operation related. Of course, I have my show On Air with Russell of Hotels, which I'm a hospitality personality, but I do things to support the hospitality industry, right? So I do several different things. But yesterday, I just got a new client for the hotel site selection. So today, and it's actually one of my first meetings I've actually done in LA, probably in a long time. I'm sure I've done at least one or two in LA, but not a lot. But this organization is based on the East Coast, but they're coming here to LA. So I have clients everywhere. So the client, it doesn't matter where the clients are. Doesn't matter where their hotels are going to be or where the event's going to be. I mean, that's what I do. So I do it globally, right? So it just happens to be this time is going to be in Los Angeles. So it's good to source out, hotels in the LA area. So I sourced out about 8 hotels. I've already received responses from several of them. So that's what I do as a hotel site selection person. So a company or organization, hires me and say, "Hey, I want you to do this, or can you do this for me?" And my job is to, find the hotel with the meeting space that they want, right? So that's what I did, and it'll probably take probably to get all 8. Sometimes they respond immediately. Like I already probably received about at least 1 turn down and 3 responses. Okay. So to get all 8, today's a week. I mean, tomorrow's a weekend. Salespeople don't work on weekends. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say Monday, Tuesday at the latest. There's always gonna be some stragglers. Okay. I see Jana Divine. That's my girl, Jana Divine. How are you? She came on with me yesterday. You know what? And she may want to come on again. I don't know. If she requests me, then if she has time, she can come on again because I appreciate her energy coming on. And she can talk about a little bit about what she does if she has time. But if not, I understand, Jana Divine. We understand. But yeah, so that was good to get that thing started. And I actually already I sourced another group that I have in New Orleans. I did that earlier this week, and I'm still waiting. See, this is the thing. So I did this one, probably the other one, on, let's say, Tuesday. I started sourcing on Tuesday night, and it was only 4 hotels, and I've only received things from maybe 2. So I got 2 more hotels before I can get back to my client and say, "Hey, this is their, these are their proposals or whatever," and then we go from there. So client lets me know what the program is. I compile an RFP. They let me know their destination. They give me the dates and all that stuff. So I compile the RFP, send it to the hotels all at one time. Like one RFP at the click of a button. I can send it to multiple hotels. So I don't have to call or email individual hotels, right? So you just do one RFP and I click 8 hotels. Okay. And then boom, it's gone, it's sent. And then once they receive it, of course, they go in and do their proposal and it comes back to me. And then from there, I compile it. I mean, I can put it in a report and then send this over to my client with all the responses. And then the client goes through, see all the responses. And, of course, they look at the rates first, right? They look at the rates, like, okay, the rates within our budget. Okay, what's the cost on the meeting space or the food and beverage and all that kind of stuff. So, there's like menus included if they request menus and things like that. And, times and all that stuff, make sure that stuff is right. And they come back to me and say, "Hey, okay, we like Hotel A." Okay, so then I contact Hotel A and say, "Hey, my client's requesting a contract. Can you send me a contract?" They send me a contract. I look over, I peruse the contract, look it over, make sure all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. Things that should be in there are in there. Things that don't belong in there are taken out. And that's me. I need to, make sure I'm paying attention to what's in there, and then I take that out because I don't want my client signing things that they don't understand, or things that don't apply to them. So or apply to this group. So that, and then once the contract signed, boom, that's done. And then unless the next step would be, making sure rooming lists as it gets closer to the date, make sure there's rooming lists that are taken care of. Make sure they're guaranteeing their numbers as far as any food and beverage and things like that, or anything that can come up, right? And then if the client wants me to manage the group, which I only do small, I'll manage small groups, but the larger ones, I give those to other people like Sam, things like that, companies like that. But yeah, so that's I just took you through it, right? Just took you through the process. Hey, Stone Events Promo. And Stone Events Promo, she does this all the time, right? So she's an expert on this. Stone Events Promo was just in Houston. She still may be there. I don't know. She was doing an event there. Events never go without, some hiccups or some challenges, you know what I mean? And I think she experienced some things the other day, but I'm sure those things are gone. I mean, sometimes it's just par for the course. It's funny. Some with certain groups, there's always going to be something, right? There's always going to be some stuff, but it's just basically how you handle it. But yeah, but I'm sure she got through it. I think she's probably done with the meeting now. But yeah, so she did share that she was in Houston for she was doing a meeting there. So that's always great that we remain busy. I see Reimagine Hospitality. My girl Lauren, she was out here back in December. I got a chance to finally meet her in person. Just a beautiful young lady. I mean, beautiful both inside and out, right? So I appreciate her. In fact, her and her husband were just in Florida. Was that Florida you were just in? She was in New York, and then she was in, I don't know, I think Miami. Yeah, she's been everywhere. That's right, because she was in Little Havana. So she was having what is it called? What's the Havana sandwich? What is that called? Counting down to 200 episodes. Yes, counting down to 200 episodes. Yes, that is Miami. Yes, you were in Miami. You were in Little Havana. What is it called? A Cuban sandwich? What is it called? I can't think. Yeah, Cuban sandwich. Okay, it's called a Cuban sandwich. Okay, there you go. But yeah, countdown to 200 episodes. That's going to be Tuesday. I have a talk show for people that don't know. A live hospitality talk show called On Air with Russell of Hotels. And yeah, happy birthday again. Happy belated birthday. Happy birthday to Miss Lauren Brown. She getting old. Shoot, she getting old. No, she not. I'm just joking. She getting old, girl. No, I'm joking. No, but happy birthday to you again. And you doing it up. You're living it up. I mean, Lauren knows how to celebrate a birthday, that's for sure. She was just in New York last week and then Miami this week. I mean, she's doing everything. And then you're in Chicago, maybe a couple of weeks before that. I mean, she everywhere. And that's as she should be. Okay. Take advantage of that, those employee rates, the associate rates. So if you work for a hotel, you get those perks, right? You get those rates that normal people don't get. You know what I mean? So she's able to make that reservation, able to pay for an upgrade and all that stuff. I think she actually part of her deal is that she gets upgrades or something like that. So she gets the best rooms in the house. So go ahead, girl. You go, girl. But no, you're more than welcome. Employee rate. So yeah, so she takes advantage of that, and that's what more people should do that work in the industry. I mean, isn't that one reason why you do that is to get that employee rate, that discount? You know what I mean? Apply. When I worked for Marriott, oh, believe me, I was gone back then. Okay, back then the rates were scaled, right? So based on the size of the property, or if it was a 3, 4, or 5 diamond property, the rates would go according, right? But the lowest was 29, and I want to say the highest was maybe for the top hotel, like a JW or something. It was $59. $59. Wow. So it went from 29 to 59. And we would complain like, damn, that's $59. I'm like, what? Are you serious? So yeah, I remember those days, and oh my God, that was fun. It's great for your family to take that out. Yes, 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 yes. It's always cool. So yeah, so I miss those things, and I have a couple friends. I mean, now I know enough people in the industry where I probably get that same rate, if not a little lower. So yeah, so it's interesting. It's fun though. But when you work for the company, no, you need to take full advantage of it. And Lauren Brown definitely takes advantage of that, and I applaud that. So continue to do what you do. Okay. And I'll continue to watch. So make sure you continue to post. If you guys don't follow Miss Lauren Brown, you make sure you follow Lauren Brown, ROH 2023. Yes, got that rate going on at the Level Hotel here in downtown LA, with the hopes of growing that throughout that brand, if not other brands, right? So my job is to bring as many room nights as I can worldwide. That would be, hey, that's what I'm working on, Miss Brown. My job is to to bring business to hotels, right? If I can create room nights, however I can create room nights, that's what I want to do. Because a lot of people, they promote, I mean, I don't know what they call themselves. They do things for hotels, but do they do it in the name of room nights? Okay, and that's what I try to do is, yeah, it's one thing to promote a hotel and things like that, but are you actually bringing business to that hotel? Because at the end of the day, that's what they want, right? They want your efforts to equal some money somewhere. So I said if I can create room nights, because a couple years ago, before the pandemic, I was generating about 10,000 room nights for hotels. I mean, I had 10,000 room nights that I was able to generate to not just the one hotel, but of course multiple hotels. And 10,000 is that's not really high. It's not really low. It just depends on, I guess, your reach. But yeah, so 10,000 room nights, and that can be, depending on the rates, the average rates, that can be well over $1 million in business, right? So that's my job, is two things, right? So it creates business for the hotel for my partners. And of course, it makes money for me as well. But this is the thing, I don't get paid until people book it. Okay. And that's the thing that, I try to let people know, hotels know, when I'm kind of pitching this to them. I said, hey, I will promote your hotel. And I only get paid when people book. That seems pretty simple to me, right? So I'm doing all this promotion. Um, and I only get paid when it books. So when they come through the door, when they pay their money, when they put that credit card down, when they check out and you get charged, that's when I get paid. Seem pretty simple to me, right? So yeah, so those are things I do, and I just try to, like I said, create opportunities, um, in the area of room nights, okay? Because that's what hotels look for. They look for room nights. That means money at the end of the day. Hey, what's up, Kevin? Hey, Kevin. That's cousin Kevin. He's out there, and I don't, you know what? I don't know where he is. I'm not even gonna say I know where he is, because one minute he's in, some island, and next minute he's, I don't know, another country. You know what I mean? So I don't know where he is, but hey, how are you? Hope you are well. We haven't talked in a while, so we got to catch up soon, just so I can see what the heck. When they say where the heck is Carmen San Diego? No, where the heck is Kevin? Okay, where is Kevin? Because we don't know where he is. We need to know where he is. Where in the world is Kevin? So, but no, just like Lauren Brown, Kevin travels as well, and Kevin's retired, so he just retired not too long ago. And okay, okay, tell my aunt Doris I said hello, please. I saw you post something the other day. That was great. I love that. What you posted the other day on, here on Instagram, you posted it. So no, that was great. It's always great to see my aunt doing well, looking good, and I know she enjoys you being there, hanging out there out in Arizona. So but yeah, that's cool. That's my favorite aunt, as well. That's my favorite aunt. Okay. There you go. So that's my mom's sister. So there you go. And I see Miss Tracy. See Miss Tracy. She's the convention services manager at the. I don't know why I always draw a blank, but it's the Marriott. Uh, 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 it's where the track is. Why can't I ever think about it? It's where the racetrack is. The Marriott at the racetrack in San Diego. What is it called? Yeah, really. Tell me, because I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on it, but it's at the Del Mar. Del Mar, there you go. Del Mar, Marriott Del Mar. Okay, and she has another property. It's a dual property, right? So she works at the Marriott. All right, yeah, Del Mar, dude, I got it already. Okay, you ain't have to do all that. Okay, I got it. I already said it like 30 seconds ago. All right, so the Marriott Del Mar and the DoubleTree in Del Mar. She's responsible for those two properties as a convention services manager. So, convention services manager, once a group has signed their agreement, it goes to the convention services person. The convention services manager is the one that details everything. They ask for the payment. They ask for the rooming list. They ask for their, all the F&B requirements and the room setup and do they need AV and all this kind of stuff. So they make sure they're the more detailed person on there. So there's a mixture. That position is a mixture of the catering and room sales. Okay, so there you go. So it's a position that I never would want to do, but I work with those people and they're really detailed. Let them know, Russell. Yes, 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 yes. So yeah, it's a real detailed position, and like I said, it's one that I was responsible for, meaning I oversaw that department or everything because I'm the director of sales and marketing, and all those, you know, those people are under me. Not like that, but I was responsible for that, right? So the success or failure of those departments, were my responsibility. So of course I know how it all operates, how it all starts and ends, with that, with the client being happy. It All these players have to be involved, right? Everybody has to play nice with one another, right? So everything is connected, right? So that's one thing that when I first got into hotels, it was funny. This is a real quick story here. When I got out of school to go in hotels, because I had offers to be a sales manager right out of college, right? Like, we got this job for you in New Orleans, of all places. I'm like, I never been out of Blythe, California. I'm darn sure not going to New Orleans. Okay. I was not gonna go. So I took my job with Marriott Hotels with the Courtyard division, right? So my first job was a housekeeping manager. Okay. And I learned, and I said, well, I want to end up in sales, but I need to know how every department relates to the other one. When someone checks in, what departments are affected by that person checking in, okay, or when that person leaves, or when that person stays there. If they're here for an event, if they're there just to stay there, if they're eating in the restaurant, how are those? How do every department, connect to each other? And because I didn't know, right? Because my that was my first experience. My first job was my first experience working in a hotel. I didn't my experience was because once you before you graduate, you had to have 800 hours of work experience. Well, mine was with a catering company. It was not with a hotel. So I had no idea, right? So I said, I mean, although I was good with dealing with people and building relationships, but I'm like, I'm building a relationship and I don't know what the hell how to sell a hotel, the the features and all the benefits of a hotel. I didn't know. So I said, you know what? Let me slow down here, and just kind of take it step by step. So I started off in housekeeping, right? Housekeeping, front office, food and beverage. Then I left Courtyard and went to a full service hotel. Then I got exposed to other stuff like banquets and the kitchen and the chef and the sous. I didn't know what a sous chef was. Found out what a sous chef was. Then engineering and getting on top of the roof and seeing all these different things that they're working on as far as the air conditioning units, HVAC and water softeners and all this kind of stuff that I had no idea about how hotels operate, right? So then from there, once I amassed about 7 years of operation experience, then I went into sales. Then I knew I could sell the product because now I know how everything relates to the other, right? So if there's an issue here, I know how to deal with it. So that's what I did. So and then finally I got into sales and then director of sales and marketing. Then I don't know why I did this, but I went back into operations as a director of operations, and then said, you know what I do that for? And then I went back into sales, and I went as didn't want to be a GM, but I ended up being a GM. What is this all about? Oh, we got what is that? Some kind of alert? I don't know what that was. An Amber alert or something? I'm not sure. But yeah, so then from there, sorry about that. I mean, I can't control that. But then from there, I went and I was a general manager. Like I said, that was someone else's dream. It was not my dream to do that, but I went ahead and did it. And even the experiences that you maybe didn't think you're gonna experience, they were still there's still parts that you learn different things, right? Because everything's a learning experience. Even the worst experiences that you ever had as far as working, you still learn from that stuff, right? So I'm not gonna say me being in the gym was the worst experience, but it wasn't one of the top ones either, right? And but I did it for about 13, 14 months, and then say, you know what, this ain't for me, and I knew it wasn't for me, but because there was an opening, because, oh, you've been here for a long time and we'll pay you more money. You know what? That's when I found out that all money ain't good money. Okay. So I said, thank you, deuces. I forgot you were, yes, I was a GM. Yes. So I mean, it was like I said, I still learned from that experience. I learned that I don't want to do it again. But you still take things from that, right? So it was, as I look back on it now, it was a good experience. It's just that when you're in it, you're like, why did I do this crap? But anyway, no, but anyway, but it was an experience. Good career advice. So yeah, so thank you. So yeah, so learn everything, right? Because I know salespeople that just come in without any operation experience and they don't know crap. Okay. I said that. A lot of them, back when I came in, a lot of them didn't know anything. And I'm trying to explain certain things to them, but they don't want to hear, right? They're like, oh, well, I don't have to worry about that because I'm in sales. Well, no, you actually do, because you need to know that you can't put that many people in here at this time, right? During the time that you need it, you can't do that. Okay. You can't do this certain things because then you need to turn over this room and all this. There's a lot going on that a lot of people don't understand. And but anyway, that was my experience. And remember, I always talk about the things that I have experienced, right? These are not things that other people experience. Your experience is your experience. I can only talk about my experiences, and these are my truths, right? People say, well, that's my truth. Well, yeah, I'm living, my truth. These are my experiences. So anything I talk about, it's based on me and what I've experienced. Now, you may have experienced something else. No two people got in this industry alike. No two people have the same. Well, a lot of people have the same positions, but their experiences are their experiences. Different hotels. I've been to 14 different hotels, and every hotel had their own issues. Okay, that you had to deal with. So that's why I chose to go to 14 different hotels, or several different hotels. One's because I knew that I would make more money bouncing around. That's always good, right? And then the second thing was every hotel has its own. Every hotel, why is my doctor calling me? Every hotel has its own, issues or highs and lows and different experiences. Every house has its own issues. Yes, that's right. They do. I say, don't look under the bed. What's going on, Miss Robert Lynn? All salespeople need to work in housekeeping. Yes, somebody's getting it. Yes, all salespeople need to work in housekeeping, front office, and banquets. Why is there always issues with sales in the front desk? I don't know, but then there's always some issues. Anyway, salespeople can promise the world, and knowing damn well they can't deliver a city, right? Because it doesn't depend on them; it depends on someone else to get it done, another department. So if you don't know any better, you're just going to do anything. Me, coming from operation experience, I worked with a sales team. My first experience was with a sales team that all they all they knew was sales. They didn't know anything else. They didn't know operation. They just their first jobs were in the sales department. So I was able to we can't do that. That's a quick turnaround time. You're gonna put too much pressure on your bellman or your banquet staff and things like that. There's gonna be some times where you can't avoid that, but those times are when everything is just busy, everything's cranking, whatever. But these weren't those times, right? They were just, oh, because the client wants this quick turnaround time. I said, well, yeah, I know what the client wants, but can you explain that you can't do this? And this is why you can't do this? So, they started to come around once other departments stopped working as hard for them. You know what I mean? Because that's what people are shut down. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're all there to provide some hospitality for the client, but sometimes there's infighting between departments, and some departments will shut down on you. They'll be like, we're not doing that. Okay, we're not doing that. I know what the BEO says, but we're not doing that. And I mean, I've seen it happen, and it's all because one department didn't respect the other department. And in my case, it was the sales department. I was not the director. I was like one of the last sales managers to be hired. It was my first experience, right? But it was not my first experience in hotels. It was not my first experience dealing with other departments and from the operational standpoint. So I had to explain to the salespeople, say, "Hey, you can't do this, and you can't do, and this is why you can't do this." And then finally, they started understanding. And once they understood it, they started looking at the big picture instead of just their world of dealing with the client. Because the client will tell you anything, and if you just go along with it, yeah, the client will have you stressed the hell out, right? But sometimes you got to check the clients. Like, no, we can't do that. Yeah, you can't tell the client no. You can't do this, but I can do that. Okay. See, that's the thing. That's the thing, right? You can tell them no, but you got to have another option for them. No, we can't do that, but we can do this. Okay. You don't just outright tell them no, but you can, let them know that this is why I can't do this, but this is the option. This is what I can do. And sometimes we forget that, yeah, just explain to the client, and 9 out of 10 times the client's gonna go with it. That other time that they don't, well, hey, yeah, suck it up and do what you got to do. But make sure you have the departments on your side, right? Like say, hey, this is what's going on. I try to do this, but the client needs it, and this is the reason why they need that. And 9 out of 10 times, your people, your internal client, meaning that banquet department or the chef or whoever's involved, will understand, like, okay, well, you don't normally do this, and I'm glad you came and told me this. You had enough respect for me to have a conversation about it, right? Okay, we'll do it this time. Okay. So you have to communicate, and you got to know one thing that I did, and one thing Tracy just mentioned. And how did I get on all this stuff? But okay, anyway. But one thing that Tracy said, all salespeople need to work in housekeeping. Okay. Whew. One thing that I always did, I mean, I started off in housekeeping, right? So I'm already done with that part, right? But as a director, I still check rooms. As a director of sales and marketing, I still check rooms. I check 5 rooms a day. Why did I check 5 rooms a day? Yeah, I wanted to see the cleanliness of the rooms. Yeah, I did want to see that. But this is the most important thing, is the communication aspect with the housekeepers. That's what I wanted to do. You don't want to just be known as that manager that no one knows, okay, that just walks around and thinks his shit don't stink. Okay. That's not what you want. Did I say that? Can you say shit on Instagram and YouTube? I don't know, but I didn't mean to. But anyway, um you don't want to be known as that manager or that director just walks around and doesn't talk to anybody, doesn't know anybody, right? Because the one thing that I hated was when new GMs or new directors of sales would come in and no one knew who they were. The people in housekeeping didn't know who they were. And I said, you know what, when I become a director of sales and marketing, they're going to know who the hell I am. And one way I solved that is that I was able to, what am I doing? Okay. See, I'm sorry. I'm missing your comments because my thing, whatever. Anyway, my thing. I made it a point to go around and speak with all the housekeepers. I would check 5 rooms, not all from the same person. Okay. So I would go different floors because there's different sections and different people clean differently. Okay. And then different people, everyone would get to know who I was. And what I would do, I would always do this around 2:30, 3 o'clock. Why? Because people are at a low right then, right? Their energy level is going down about 2:30, 3 o'clock. They got until 5 o'clock to keep cleaning these rooms, right? So what I would do, and this is when I was back eating candy and Snickers, right? The little fun size Snickers bars, I would take those and give those to the housekeepers. And so, it's kind of a pick me up, little energy boost, whatever. And they would be like, oh my God, yeah, they're, eating it. And then it would help them finish the day because they got an energy rush, a sugar rush, right? So, and plus I got a chance to eat them too. God, we'd be up there eating fun size Snickers bars together. Okay. So that's the things that I did, right? Because one, I appreciate what they did. Two, I came from housekeeping, so I know the hard work they put in. Okay. And three, you want to make sure you respect the people that bust their ass for you, and because ultimately they're busting for the client, right? So take care of your employees, and they will in turn take care of your guests. I can't even speak. Take care of your employees or your associates, and they will in turn take care of the guests or your clients. Okay. So when you come to them with these crazy expectations or things that quick turnaround times, well, I need these rooms and this, well, they'll remember that, you know what, Russell takes care of me. You know what I mean? Russell appreciates us. Russell gives me candy at 2:30 when my energy is low, so I can finish these damn rooms, right? So just remember, there's other people that are working harder, okay? And I tell Tracy this, right? And because there's a perception about salespeople, okay, in hotels. Oh, they get to go out. Oh, they're out of town. They're always in the restaurant, getting wined and dined by us. Or they get to drink cocktails in the bar at 5 o'clock or whatever. That goes on at every hotel, and it irks me. It really does, because we don't need to be doing that. If we can drink anywhere, why I got to drink there at the hotel? Unless you're entertaining the client, that's one thing. Okay, that's something else. If you entertain the client, okay, that's fine. You need to do that at your property. Okay, but okay, where am I now? Okay, I know every housekeeper by name and talk to them all the time. When I have VIP clients, they take care of my people. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, what else? What else? What else? That was me, Marriott Credo. Yeah, of course it is. You know that. I've started with Marriott, girl. I ain't forgot that stuff. Operation folks need to spend a few hours in sales as well. Go on some calls and witness the process. Uh okay, yeah. That's coming from a salesperson right there, right? So only a salesperson would say that. But you're right. You're right. They need the whole process need to be explained. I don't know if they need to be going on sales calls, but the whole process needs to be explained as far as what goes on, right? It's not just because people think you're just doing this stuff, and you don't have goals, that you have to achieve, right? Well, no, there's goals at the end of that rainbow, at the end of that dinner, that we're trying to achieve. And if we don't reach those goals, what? We don't get our bonus. Um, Sometimes we get reprimanded, and sometimes we get fired if we don't make our numbers, right? So no, it could be it's a stressed out thing. It's not physical, like, as far as like housekeeping is concerned, but no, there's a lot of stuff that you get stressed the hell out with those numbers, right? Because you get these numbers, they want more numbers. They're never satisfied. Okay, well, you made those numbers. I mean, we thought those were pretty aggressive. Well, you blew those numbers out. Well, guess what? We got some more for you. You achieved these, but hey, we got some more for you to achieve. So yeah, so Marriott Credo, yeah. I know every housekeeper by name, yes, as you should. Don't start. Okay. What else? Be on a sale. That's a good one. LB, that's a good one, right? Take them on a sales blitz. So if you're doing sales blitzes, that's how I learned. See, you just fall in order here. They need to understand the process, and folks need to know what we do and how we arrive at the yes. Boom. Yes. Okay. Yes. I love it. I love it. Okay. Let me address this one that the LB said. Be on a sales blitz. Okay. Before I got into sales, I was like the AGM slash night manager, right? Okay. So totally operations, right? But I'm trying to get into sales, right? So I go to the director of sales and marketing at this particular hotel, and I say, hey, my aspirations, I'm telling her what I want to do because I want her to help me. So help me get into achieve this goal, right? So I said, I'm interested in sales. I tell her everything. Well, do you have any sales experience? I said, no. I said, but I'll do whatever it takes. She goes, well, you work at night. I work from like 3 like 2 to midnight or something like that. And I said, I'll come in early. And she goes, okay, we have a sales blitz coming. I said, I'll come in early to do the sales blitz. I don't have a problem. I just want you to know that I'm willing to do what it takes to learn sales, right? What's going on, Dylan? So she allowed me to come and do the sales blitz. I, cleared it with my GM. He said, oh, that'd be great, blah, 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 blah. So I would come in and do the sales blitzes, and then I would stay for my job, for my, the shift that I was working, as a night manager. I mean, that's just what I had to do. So when she had an opening, I said, I threw my hat in the ring, right? Did you think I got that job? Hell no, I didn't get the job. Well, I got some other seasoned people, and I don't think you know. I'm like, okay, okay. So once again, I kept doing the sales blitzes. They did like sales blitzes maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and I did them all. I wanted to know what was going on, what the process was, what was the procedure, because of why my aspirations were to be in sales. Okay. So she once again had another position open. You think I got it? No. I said, okay, that's fine. So I ended up transferring from that hotel to a hotel here in LA. That was in Sacramento. That was my only hotel in Sacramento out of the 14. So now I'm in LA, and I start working there. Okay. I go to the director of sales and marketing, explain the same thing, what's going on. I even participate in a sales blitz there. I didn't get the position. I asked again, and they had opening positions. I would always know when the sales managers were leaving because they would tell me. So I said, "Hey, what do you think about me? Getting that position? All right, give me an opportunity." Well, do you have sales experience? Okay, all right. So didn't get that. So we got a new director of sales and marketing. His name was Tom Torrance. I remember to this day, Tom Torrance. Okay. So when on Tom Torrance's first day, I go in his office and say, hey, I close the door. Okay. And I said, dude, this is what's going on. I have aspirations of being in sales. But I've been through 2 properties and 2 DOSs and about 10 sales blitzes. Okay. Everyone needs an opportunity, right? Everybody needs to start somewhere. I said, I'm willing to do whatever, but I want a shot in sales. And he said, okay, the next time I have an opening, we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk. I said, that's all I want is an opportunity to sit down and talk and see what I can bring to the table, right? So about he started, let's say about 3 to 6 months later, somebody leaves. So I go in there and said, Tom, this is before they left. I said, hey, I just heard that so and so was leaving. He didn't even know, right? He said, how do you know that? I said, Tom, don't bust me out here. But I said, I know that she's leaving. And so I'm interested in that position. He said, well, if everything you say is true, meaning if she's leaving, he said, okay, I'm gonna give you the shot. She left, he gave me the shot. Okay. And this is how he repaid me for giving me the shot. He this was before internet was coming out, but there was no Google at this time, right? So he gave me a book. It was called a book of list, and it was about this thick. It had every company and organization with CEOs and phone numbers and addresses of everything in LA. Okay, so I would go through. My hotel was in the Valley. It was the Woodland Hills Hilton in Warner Center. So that book of list was like this. He slammed it on my desk. Boom. I said, what's this? And he said, find business. That was my training. He said, find business. I said, fine. And I looked through it, and it had all these names, company names, organizations. So what I did was, and I just said, okay, thank you. And I looked at it. I started from the start of that book, and call me later, meeting calls. Okay, peace. So I went through that page by page, called every person. Now you can't, they had the numbers of this or the names of CEOs, right? Well, I found early on that you're never going to get to talk to the CEO, right? You're going to talk to the gatekeeper, an assistant, executive assistant, administrative assistant, or whatever. That's fine. But I had to find that out on my own. No one told me this. So I'm calling all these people. I'm getting their information. I'm asking if they have a travel department. If they didn't have that, well, who's in charge of your meetings and things like that? Or accommodations or whatever. So she would give me that, and I would write all that stuff down. I would input it in our little database that we had, and that's what I would do. I would go through that, and eventually I started getting like ones and twos, onesies and twosies reservations or whatever, and maybe got a little small group, and then I started taking that stuff to my GM. I mean my DOSM, and he's like, dude, he said, I've done that before and I've never got any business from that. That's what he said. But I went through that. I mean, I was so diligent. I went through that, and I would call the people back. If they said, hey, call us back on this day, I would make sure I call them back. I followed up. And then it just turned around. And then he gave me a market after that, because at that point I didn't even have a market. I was a new guy. He just wanted to see what my worth was, if I would actually be discouraged by him throwing this damn 5-inch book of list on my desk. No, I wasn't discouraged, because I really wanted to get into sales. So that's my sales experience. That's how I got in, right? And like a fool, I got out for a minute, but then came back in. But anyway, but yeah, so that's my experience. I don't even know how I got into that, how this even thing started, but it does go back to as salespeople, um, like I said, they need to know who you are, what you do, okay, and what you do for the hotel, right? Just like the housekeepers, we know what they do, right? But we all need to respect each other's position, and we all need to, you know, sometimes recognize the people that aren't recognized by everyone else in the hotel. Okay, so that's the housekeeping. What does the engineering do? The reservation person that no one ever sees, right? They just know that they're in there taking reservations, but no one sees them, right? So I mean, the dishwasher, the cooks, the chef, the sous chef, they're so concentrating on their thing that a lot of people, unless you need them for something, you don't talk to them. And that's another thing. I used to go to the kitchen all the time. I used to help with dish up. Okay, those are things that I did. And they're like, why do you do these things? See, they look at a lot of people within the industry or within hotels, they look at it as that's not your job to do. I'm like, I'm a manager. I'm a director. Okay. It is my job. Everything that happens in this hotel is my job. It may not be my primary responsibility, but it's my job to make sure that people see me, right? That people see that you have a presence, not that you're just present at work, but you have a presence in that hotel, in that building. And that's where a lot of people F up. Okay. So, did I say that? That's how a lot of people F up. Okay. And that's when there's that tension between different departments, because one department thinks they're better than the other. Okay. It happens at every hotel, every single hotel, it happens. Okay. And salespeople, well, they need to spend more time knowing what we do. And then the operations people, well, the salespeople are always promising things that we can't deliver. You know what I mean? So always the same thing. But it takes someone that kind of knows everything, meaning not knows everything, but maybe has experience with different things, to kind of pull stuff together and let them know that, hey, I understand where he's coming from. But that starts at the top too. Sometimes the GM, he or she doesn't get it, because he or she came up the same way some of these other crappy managers came up. You know what I mean? Crappy, I mean, what I mean by crappy, they may know what they do, but they don't have the people skills, or they're not identifying people that they should be identifying. You know what? I'm going on. I'm on one today. I don't know how I got into this conversation or this discussion, but someone needed to hear it. Someone needed to hear it. So that's what I'm saying. So that's my experience. And if you're just not coming on and didn't hear it, rewind this thing and hear it, and just hear from someone that with 14 different hotels under their belt, 25 to 30 years of experience, different positions, started off as a housekeeping manager, went to a general manager, ended as a director of sales and marketing. So, I mean, that progression, it wasn't just, and everything that I say 14 different hotels, everything was a progression. It wasn't just like the same position over and over again. It was a progression, right? So, and progression could mean a different market. So if I'm a director of sales at one hotel and then I want to go to another hotel, I may have the same title, but remember, hotels, are not always in the same market. I chose hotels that were in different markets when I was in sales because I wanted to be exposed to that market. So downtown versus, you know, San Pedro, which is in the marina, right? Which is, kind of it sits on the water, right? That's totally different market. You're gonna get totally different clientele than I got at a downtown property, right? Even some of the same clients wouldn't even go to the water because that was too far for them, or vice versa. The people that were near the water wouldn't go downtown. It was just different. It's a different market segment, so it teaches you how to sell differently to different people. So when I see people that have been at the same property, I'm like, damn. First of all, that's it's huge to be at one property for a long time, right? When I mean a long time, over 24 months. You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, you've been there that long? 24 months? Uh, a salesperson specifically, right? It means it's just different. I mean, but once you got to the director of sales part, I understand you. I just want to stay where I am at that point. Yeah, I understand that. But the salespeople that are on their way up, sometimes it's to their advantage if they have experience in different markets. Okay, so just me. Just what I have to say. Love and Life MM. Love and Life MM. Hey, what's up, Love and Life MM? Do I know Love and Life MM? Where you located, Love and Life MM? I gotta run, but this is rad. You mean this is rad or it's rad? Meaning you're rad or this is rad? Which one is it? Oh man, that was a good one. So anyway, I think that's it for me. I want to thank you guys so much for listening to me go on and on about my experiences here. Oh, Gregory 1531A. Gregory 1531A. But anyway, hey, I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate the comments, the questions, or just the comments like from LB Reimagine Hospitality. I call it LB. Okay, that's my new name for her, Lauren Brown. Gregory, thank you. Hey, what's going on, Gregory? Appreciate it. Love and Life, appreciate you. Tracy, appreciate you. In your comments. Dylan, always a pleasure. Yes, keep trying no matter what. Yeah, always keep trying and let people know what you're trying to do. And we're always going to need advocates. Okay. So, because we can't do anything alone, right? Someone always has to give you a chance. I remember being in Sacramento, I couldn't get a job in a hotel. Um, when I left Marriott, we relocated to Sacramento. My first job was not in a hotel because I couldn't get a hotel job. I worked for Ryder Distribution Resources, which is not hospitality. It was basically a trucking company. Um, and then I worked for Domino's Pizza. I managed a Domino's Pizza until I got a hotel job because people in Sacramento, some cities or communities are real cliquish, and I couldn't get an opportunity until Ron Berger, who was a GM at the Sheraton in Rancho Cordova, which is right outside of Sacramento, gave me a shot. Right, so we always need an advocate somewhere. And once I got in, he showed what I can do, and he's the one. He was responsible for giving me the job when I relocated from Sacramento to LA. He was the one that advocated for me to get that position. So, and just like Tom Torrance helped me out in sales, he opened the door for me in sales. We always need someone to assist us, right? So, and they're not going to help people that um, are jerks or a-holes or whatever. They're not going to help those people, right? So, always sometimes you got to humble yourself and you got to say, hey, this is what I'm trying to achieve. I need your help with achieving this. Can you help me? And as I mentioned, at least two people closed the door on me and said no. Well, they wouldn't, give me that opportunity in sales. But it's funny when I got the position and then they found out I was a director later. I was a director. Oh my God, you're a director. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, all right. But they had nothing to do with it, right? It was, but like I said, but don't get caught up in all that crap, right? Because I knew that I was going to get there. I just didn't know what street I was going to go on to get to there, right? But I knew I was going to make it to that, to that big house one day, right? Relationships are better than money. Yes, it's a dude, Gregory 15318. It is so much more than that. And it's all about the relationship. And if you think it's not, then you're full of crap. But yes, all about the relationship. So along the way, in fact, a lot of people that I came up with, I still keep in touch with. And we're talking 20, 25, 30 years. I still keep in touch with some of these people, especially the ones that helped me out in my career. Okay. So continue to keep in touch with people. I always have this thing. If I think about somebody more than twice, I say, I got to pick up the phone and call them or email them or whatever form of communication I have to get a hold of them. I'll reach out to them and say it can be like years I hadn't spoken to them, and I'll send them an email like, "Dude, where you been?" I'm like, you just crossed my mind, and I just want to say, "Hey." That's it. I don't want anything. I'm just want to say, hey, see how you doing. Make sure you good. You know what I mean? So, and they appreciate that, right? So yeah. So communication, keeping contacts, networking, building those relationships. That is all a key to success, right? How I got this brand deal with Level Hotels, right, is a relationship. I used to work with the general manager, and I kept in touch with him. We were GMs at the same time for a different company. So I kept in touch with him, and he saw what I was doing. He appreciated what I was doing. He's one of those GMs that gets it, gets the sales part of it, gets the social media part. He understands, being exposed or exposure and being top of mind. He understands that stuff. So when I brought it to him, when I presented it to him, he's like, "Dude, when do I sign up?" Because of the relationship and because he understood the process or what independent hotels sometimes they have it harder than, well, not sometimes, a lot of times they have it harder than your branded hotels because everyone knows the brands, right? The major brands, everyone knows the Hilton, the Marriott, the IHG, the Hyatts. Okay, they know all those, right? But they don't know the Levels or the Aces or the Mondrians or the Standards, or you may know them as, okay, yeah, they're different hotels, they're a type of a hotel, but you don't know them, they're not top of mind, right? So you know uh, so he understands the big picture, and a lot of people don't understand the big picture, so I appreciate him for that. But it all had to do with the relationship, which Gregory 15318 mentioned, right? So it's all about the relationship. You never know when you're going to need somebody, and they never know when they're going to need you. But the constant is make sure you maintain a relationship. That's it. Boom. That's it. So I'm done now. I'm done. But no, thank you guys so much for listening to me, go on about that. But and like I said, everything I talk about is based on my experience. Not based on somebody that told me this. No, it's based on my experience. Right. And the other day I was talking to somebody about some of the same stuff. He's like, "Dude, you know a lot of stuff." I'm like, but he was asking me specific things, right? When people ask me, yeah, I'll tell you, but a lot of times I don't remember, so I'm not going to volunteer. I don't just volunteer. I'm not just an open book, right? Unless you ask me the questions. If you ask me the questions, oh I can tell you everything about hotels, how to operate them, my experiences in doing this, doing that, all that stuff. Yeah, but people have to ask. So when people make comments and things like that, it's like, "Oh, yeah, I'm glad you said that." And then that's why I, elaborate on certain things because they're not necessarily asking questions, but they're mentioning things that are resonating with me. And I'm like, "Yeah, based on my experiences, this is what I did." You know what I mean? So there you go. There you go. So anyway, Russell of Hotels, like I said, I do a myriad of things in this hospitality space, but I'm a hospitality entrepreneur. There's several things that I do. Um, like I said, hotel site selection, consulting, sales consulting for general managers who maybe don't have a lot of sales experience. I, consult with them on what they should be looking for. I have my own show, On Air with Russell of Hotels, which is a live hospitality talk show. In fact, next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, is show number 200. So make sure you listen to that. It's live on YouTube as well as LinkedIn. And today, just in case you guys did not know, I'm doing both of these shows at the same time. I'm on YouTube and Instagram at the same time, right? And I've been here almost an hour. Damn, I didn't realize that. I can talk. So yeah, so I don't know why vegan son, vegan fun size Snickers. I just saw that. I don't know why I just thought of this, right? That I can do two things at once, right? I can, do a simulcast. I can be on Instagram and YouTube at the same time, but with using two different devices. So I'm on my iPad, I mean, on my laptop and my phone. So anyway, so that's it. So there you go. I don't have to do it again today, but no, I do these lives every Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 and noon. Um, and we talk about hospitality things, based on my experiences. So anyway, I appreciate you guys joining in today. Hopefully, this resonates with some people. Thank you, Dylan. I appreciate that. And any questions at all, I'm here as a resource. So however you need to get a hold of me, if you have questions about things, feel free to reach out. You can DM me. You can, slide into my DMs. You can email me. Go to my website, russellofhotels.com. My phone number is there. You can call me, you can email me. It doesn't matter. If you have questions or, need some consulting, that's what I'm here for. That's what I do. So there you go. So you guys have a great day, great weekend. It is raining here on and off in LA for the next, I think, 2 days. So that's why I'm in today. I don't think I'm going to do a hotel of the day today, but you never know. You just never know. But anyway, I am Dale Harrison. Hey, Dale Harrison. Why does that name sound familiar? Dale Harrison. But anyway, I'm about to get off of this. But Dale Harrison, please follow me if we don't follow each other. And do a rewind on this so you can see what I talked about, right? Because I think this is I was in rare form today. Okay, so normally I'm in rare form, but I was really in rare form today as far as career and my getting into the hotel space and how I got in, how I got into sales, how I transitioned, how relationships between people that you work with, departments in hotels, how hotels actually work, right? How they depend on each department and all that kind of stuff. So if you're interested, check it out. Anyway, peace. You guys have a great day. If I keep talking, if I don't sign out now, I'm gonna keep talking. So you guys have a great day. Bye. 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 Bye.